every day can be perfect. A perfectly safe, trouble-free operation.
My perfect day is when I get to go home safely.
My day's perfect when a job goes to plan.
Whether we're working offshore, onshore, in the warehouse or the office, we can all enjoy a perfect day. A perfect day means more than just getting the job done. It means making every operation as effective, efficient and safe as possible. But how do we achieve a perfect day? It's like a jigsaw puzzle, a puzzle with 5 key conversations as the 5 key pieces: handover, pre-shift briefing, toolbox talks and tricks, safety interventions, and active monitoring. If any of these pieces are missing, the picture isn't complete and the day will not be perfect.
Perfect days don't just happen, we make them happen.
If we all help complete the puzzle, we can all have a perfect day.
A perfect day always starts with a great handover. Before the day and night shifts swap over, the senior supervisors get together to discuss how to keep the operation safe, effective and trouble-free.
When I think of a perfect day, I think of starting the shift, having all the information that I need to carry out the tasks that we've been given in a safe manner. I will sit down with my back-to-back, who will then go over the previous 12 hours. Firstly, I need to know about safety. If the operations ran trouble-free through the day, there's been no safety issues, no equipment issues, no breakdowns. When we're going from the operation that's just been done to the operation ahead of us for the next 12 hours, we'll review written instructions which is generally handed out by the company man. And once we've covered that, you need to know where the manpower is going, what expertise is required. You need to know that the personnel have the expertise to carry out the tasks. If you are using other contractors, that they're fully up and running as well with what's expected of them in the operation.
Knowing exactly where we are in an operation helps us to stay on plan and prevent incidents and non-productive time.
Without exception, any permits and isolations that we have in the system and are using are fully discussed so that the person coming on shift has got no grey areas and he's well aware of what's going on.
Good communication is a key to a safe, seamless and effective handover.
The importance of doing a handover and having a one-to-one is to make sure you've got a clear line of communication. If you're unsure about certain aspects of the handover, you have to clarify that. So we generally find 15 minutes we can cover a lot. I do expect to be leaving that handover with a full knowledge of what we have to do operational for the next 12 hours. When I'm preparing a handover, it is important to write it down. It's then there so that it can be referred to, at a later date.
Handovers take time, but it's time well spent.
In my experience, it's crucial that you do give a full handover. No matter where you're working, you need to make sure you got all the information, you ask the right questions, because if you don't, you could leave yourself exposed and other people exposed to danger.
After a thorough handover, the oncoming supervisor gets his crew together to brief them on the shift ahead. This pre-shift brief includes all the supervisors and relevant contractors and covers all aspects of the future operations.
I'm personally passionate about a good pre-shift briefing because it sets the tone for the day.
The major objective of a pre-shift briefing is to share information to help us achieve our goal of a perfect day.
The OIM normally, or the tool pusher, will normally lead the pre-shift briefing, and the HSE advisor will have his part in the briefing, and also each of the departmental supervisors will discuss what's going to be happening that day under their control in their departments, and that way everybody gets a better idea of what's happening all around the location.
We talk about the status of the operation, ongoing operations, pending operations, and operations that have been completed. We talk about the manpower and the resources, what equipments are to be used. We talk about the personnel actively involved in that operation, who is in charge, who is supervising what operation.
The HSE advisor will talk about any safety alerts that have come out recently that would apply to them. They'll talk about the set card participation, maybe pick out 2 or 3 set cards and discuss with the crew briefly on why they were good.
We talk about active monitoring. Who monitors what permits, who raises the permits, who monitors the permits, and in all, we just try to make everything work safely.
Cover all the bases to get a clear plan, what's happening, who's doing it, and how we're going to do it safely.
In areas where we have different contractors, different work parties working together, we identify who is new to this operation, who is new to the rig. We can work together as a team.
We can find out if there's any simultaneous jobs that will be interfering with each other, and we can plan to make sure that, that they don't interfere. A pre-shift briefing cannot be a lecture. Okay, it has to be an information exchange. We're learning together, we're planning together to make sure that we cover all the bases for that day.
It's me talking, you asking questions, me asking questions, and you talking, sharing information, sharing ideas.
And then when we leave that pre-shift briefing, we're leaving as a team to look out for each other and get the job done safely.
No day can be perfect with a clear pre-shift brief.
It's more than a brief, it's a discussion. Listen carefully, get involved.
It's very important that supervisors have a structured approach to their part in the pre-shift briefing, that they have maybe some bullet points so that they can follow to make sure that they cover all that they need to cover. It's also good for auditing purposes, because if you don't do the paperwork, the job wasn't done. Also, this pre-shift briefing is documented by a pre-shift briefing report, which is filed after the meeting, so it can be referred to. My passion for a good, effective pre-shift briefing is that we can set the mood for the day, we make our plans, we go out, we work our plan, and have a safe day.
Having had a detailed handover and clear pre-shift brief, the crew are ready to go on shift. But before they start work, it's vital each of the teams gather at their work site to discuss their tasks in a detailed toolbox talk.
Toolbox talk is a tool to ensure that everybody that is involved with the job knows what's happening with the job. It's also to give and share information to help make the job go safer.
A toolbox talk, it's all about teamwork, sharing ideas, agreeing to the plan and committing to it.
Everybody involved in the job should be at the toolbox talk, not just KCA personnel. Any outside contractors that are involved in the job, they should be there with the toolbox talk as well. They can also share any information that they've learned on other jobs to help it make it go smoother.
Let's have all the right people there. Third parties, contractors. Let's work as a team.
It's important that everybody that involved in the toolbox talk understands it. That's their chance then. If anybody doesn't understand, they can speak up then and discuss it. We fill in a trick card at the start of the shift for each job that we're doing. It's a tool to identify the risks and put in controls to reduce the risks and get a job done safely and properly. If it's necessary throughout the job, if anybody's not sure, we can stop, we can have another toolbox talk and adjust the trick card, and everybody knows that it has been changed and what changes are going to take place.
Every trick is a chance to get things right.
It's not just a lecture to tell you what's happening with the job. It's for everyone to put their input into the job to help the plan go smoothly and safely. When we're finished the job, we have a system that gathers any information, good or bad. That's recorded on the trick card, and it can be shared with other platforms to help anybody else in KCA on similar jobs to make the job go safer and smoother.
If we all work to the same safe plan, every day can be perfect.
Toolbox talks are important. They pull the crew together to work safely, follow the plan, and eventually finish the job safely and have a perfect day.
A perfect day is built around good planning, preparation and communication. But even the best preparations don't always go to plan. Safety interventions help us to achieve a perfect day. By keeping our eyes open, we can look out for each other and stop the job if we feel something might be unsafe.
The best thing about intervention is it gives people the opportunity to help each other and to make the job safer. Intervening is where you might not actually be part of the work group, you might just be passing the job and you see something that you think is maybe unsafe or that could be improved. So you will stop and intervene, and we have a chat about how we could improve the job. We record it, we write it down, and then when all parties are happy, we'll return back to the work and carry on. The mindset is to look out for yourself and other people, and if you see something that you think is unsafe, it's in your interest and other people's interest to intervene and try and explain to them where you think the job could be improved.
It is up to all of us to stop the job if we think someone would get hurt.
When I have that conversation, I have 4 things in my mind at that time. Number 1 is what is actually happening on the job. And number 2, why are they doing it in that particular way? Number 3, what are the consequences of doing it that way? And lastly, number 4 would be to find a way to make the job safer.
Safety interventions aren't an accusation, they're a conversation. Keep them open and upbeat.
The tone of the conversation will be very friendly and very open and non-threatening, because that's what it is just a conversation. At the end of the intervention, we would obviously reach a verbal agreement. We would then record that on the trick card. We would also put a positive stop card in to improve the job in the future.
When someone intervenes, have a positive attitude. They're only trying to keep you safe.
When I'm intervened upon, most people would naturally be defensive, but I'm quite open and welcome the intervention, because the people who are intervening are actually on your side and they're trying to help you to work safely. The 2 types of intervention are reactive and positive. Reactive is reacting to a situation that you've observed and stopping the job to make it safer. A positive intervention is where I see something safe and good taking place. I would praise the people for doing a good job, I'll write it down, record it and share it with the rest of the workforce.
The first time you intervene often takes real courage, but you can do it. It gets easier every time.
My sense of responsibility is to intervene on anything, no matter what the circumstances or who the people are, if I feel a job is unsafe, and it is the duty of everyone else to do so as well.
Together with intervention, active monitoring plays a key role in helping to make each day perfect. A formal process of observation, conversation and agreement, active monitoring tasks supervisors with responsibility for checking on specific operations and work sites.
Active monitoring takes place on a daily basis, so whenever a major task or operation is going on, the supervisor needs to go out and to check his people whether they follow the plan, the procedures, and therefore working safe.
Active monitoring is a formal process of observation, assessment, and eventually conversation with personnel involved in a particular task. So it allows someone else to see or observe something the people part of the task might have missed out.
There's no point in having a plan if we're not going to follow it. Active monitoring helps us stick to the plan and stay safe.
The two key parts of active monitoring are observation and conversation. I obviously start with the observation, which involves just standing back and watching the task being carried out for a while. I'm looking for hazards, then also the control measures that are being put in place to take care of those hazards. Then we want to be talking about everybody's role in the task as well. And we also take a look back at our toolbox talk and see how well things are going according to plan.
When I'm observing the guys or talking to them, then first I will ask them what are the key points for the operation you're doing over here? Which kind of risk you see in this operation? I will question them, okay, you've identified this kind of risk, how do you save yourself from being injured by this risk?
We adopt an open communication style, so everyone is encouraged to speak out. So it's a two-way learning process, and it secures buy-in from those who are involved in the task themselves.
An intervention is required when I see something which is not sticking to the plan. So the people are doing something which I can't find in my procedures or check card. Then I need to intervene. The other side could be they are perfectly following the rules, everybody's doing fine. Then I can stop them and say, gentlemen, good job. I like to see this kind of job, appreciate that. Keep on going like this so we can have a perfect day.
Before I go on active monitoring, I make some preparations. So the first thing I do is I familiarize myself with the safety tools in place. So we're talking about things like the trick card, things like the work permit, also maybe the JSA.
Be prepared, check your trick and work instruction before you head out.
After I've done the active monitoring on the rig side, I go back to the office and take some trick cards and fill in my findings over there. So these are learning points which will be read through with the whole crew, and so not just the crew I've monitored at the time, but all the next crew coming on shift doing the same job will know all the outcomes, all the learnings we've done during this active monitoring.
We can all get so involved in the job that sometimes we miss something. It's great to know that other guys are looking out for us.
I believe active monitoring is a special safety tool, different from the other ones because it provides an external eye and it provides a means of constantly improving the way we do things here on the rig.
We all want a perfect day, but we all know it can be hard to achieve. The 5 key pieces, handover, pre-shift briefing, toolbox talks and trick, safety interventions and active monitoring all fit together for a reason. If we leave a piece out, the picture's not looking safe. Completing the safety puzzle can make every job trouble-free and safe.
Look at the whole picture. If something is missing, speak up.
Speaking up can prevent the incident that spoils a perfect day.
A perfect day for me is when I get to go home safely at the end of my shift.
No matter what we do or where we do it,
let's make every day a perfect day.